Good evening, everyone. So we should start in a couple of minutes, waiting for a lot of people to join. A lot of people have shown interest in today's session. So we are looking forward to a good attendance. Let's give your friends and colleagues a few minutes to join, and then we'll kickstart the session. Hi, Adhishta. Hi, Jaya. Hi, Vansh. So if any of your friends might be also interested in this session, it's not a bad idea for you to give a quick ping to them so that in case they have missed out on the timing or the link, then they can feel free to join. Hi, Rohi. Good evening. So if you want to give them a ping, please feel free to do so that they can join us on time and not miss any important part of the session. Yeah, so people are still joining. I am giving a few more couple of minutes to them. Then we start. Yes, let the session be done and then we'll think about recording. Don't rush, you will get everything. Okay, so I can see the count going up. One more minute and we'll start. One request to everyone, in case you have any queries, please post them in the Q&A box because it is difficult to trace them in the chat box. So if you have any queries, we'll ensure that we will answer as many queries as possible, but Q&A so that they stay with us. And we do not want to miss out on any important query, and hence request you to post them in the Q&A section. So we are about to begin now. Great. So in the interest of everyone who has joined us on time, myself, Swanandar Anade, I happen to be the program director at undergraduate programs at IMS. As I understand, most of the attendees today are IMS students, but there could be a few non-IMS students also. As you know, IMS has been the pioneer in the test prep industry. As far as the aptitude test training is concerned, we have been active in this field since more than 40 years, and we have been training students for admissions into graduation and post-graduation courses for admissions into prestigious colleges in India and abroad. Today we have with us very reputed individuals, and they have also made a mark in their own fields. We have representatives from the Jindal Global Business School. Let me introduce to you first Mr. Dr. Professor Mayank Jhandial. Very good evening to you, sir. He has been the professor and dean at Jindal Global Business School. He has done his BTech from Vellore Institute of Technology, and he has also did his PhD in Strategic Management and MSc in Marketing from Technological University, Dublin, Ireland. He has also worked with quite a few premier universities in India and abroad, and he has also received certifications. University of Manchester, Northern Illinois University, USA, University College Dublin, and IIM, to name a few. Let me also introduce to you Mr. Vikram Singh Tomar, who is Director Admissions at JGBS, as they call it. He has delivered 300 plus counseling sessions in India, Nepal, and UAE. He was also conferred with Education Excellence Award for Excellence in Student Counseling at 7th Higher Education Summit. So it's great to have both of them with us. They are going to talk about the Jindal Business School, the programs that it offers, and most of the interested audience who has joined us is for the 2021 intake. So they are also going to talk about their admissions for this year. I'm sure it's going to be an exciting session. So over to you, Dr. Mayank.
Sorry, happens every time I'm on mute. So thank you very much, Swanand, for that introduction, and welcome all the people who have attended this session. So we are delighted on behalf of Jindal Global Business School at OP Jindal Global University. Me and my colleague Vikram, we are here to explain and to sort of answer your queries that you might have about admissions at Jindal Global Business School. So just to give you a start, I would like to sort of state the kind of programs that we do. And Vikram, these, our attendees here, they are primarily looking for undergrad programs, if I'm not wrong. Okay, just to get it right, otherwise, so I'll just, explain the UG programs in more detail. So guys, let me first give you just an overview of the kind of programs that we do. And then I'll try to sort of explain why it might make sense. Obviously, it's for you guys to sort of, make a decision as to where you want to go. And, as a dean of the B School, I would expect you all to do your research before you make any call, because it's an important call for your careers and for your life. Okay. So that's fine. Listen to other people's opinion. But as someone, let's say, who in the future are looking to make a mark in the industry, it's important that you take matters in your own hands and do some own research, right? So absolutely do that before you make a call as to where you want to take an admission. Now, Jindal Global School, as you might be aware, is part of JGU, which is OP Jindal Global University, which is ranked India's #1 private university as per QS 2021 as well as 2022, the latest edition. Jindal Global Business School offers multiple programs at the doctorate, postgraduate, and undergraduate levels. So starting from PhD, both part and full-time, MBA Business Analytics, we do it in partnership with Coursera, Digital Finance and Banking MBA, which we do in partnership with Upgrad. Then we have our own MBA, which is happens in a physical setup, in the non-COVID times. Of course, now we are doing it online. And then we offer multiple UG programs. Therein we have a 3-year BBA, which BBA honors. We do 3 kind of specialized BBA. One is in family business for people who are looking to who come from a family business background and want to join back in their own families. We have a BBA in business analytics for people who love to crunch numbers, make sense of large data, have interest in data science, very hot sector nowadays. And the other is, BBA in family business, in business analytics, and in financial markets. So people who are interested in finance-related areas, and would like to sort of join banks, would like to join financial institutions, research bodies, so on and so forth. Then, of course, we have a BBA Honors General, wherein you can take electives in specific areas. So that's the 4 BBA programs that we offer. And then we have a 5-year integrated BBA MBA, which is, you enter after doing your 12th and you pass out with a master's level degree. So that's the, 5-year integrated BBA IBM. So that's that. So, 4 different kind of programs at the undergrad level. So building onto it, let me just quickly sort of look at the USPs why you might want to consider Jindal as, as a place for doing your undergrad. And then we're open to, taking questions from all of you. Now, the #1, thing as a dean, I can safely say, and that's why I'm saying that you need to do your research while you look at institutions, okay? So the #1 thing is the kind of, short and long-term international opportunities that we offer. Now, I'm very happy to say that at Jindal Global Business School, we have around 80, international partnerships with, foreign universities and B schools. Now they differ in terms of the opportunities, the time period. Some of them are summer programs, some of them are semester exchange programs, some of them are dual degree. And if you want, I can give more clarification while we're answering your question, so that's fine. But we have around 80 plus. So, many universities, including University of California, Deakin University, Australia, University of Belfast in United Kingdom, many universities in Europe, university in Latin America, so on and so forth. So our 80 plus partnerships around 80 partnerships cover 5 continents worldwide. And look at the span at which we offer our students at Jindal Global Business School. So if you do any of the programs, you get an opportunity depending on multiple other factors. But that's number one. That's, I think, is absolutely phenomenal and unparalleled, I would say, across the Indian B school space. The second, I think, USP at the B school level is the kind of free electives that we offer, what we call as interdisciplinary education. Now, what happens is in our final year, as part of our UG degrees, our students can take electives from 10 other schools of JGU. So we have 11 schools in Jindal Global University, right? We have 11th is a new school, but total 11 schools, business school is one of them. So our students, let's say if you're doing a PBA, okay, and it's a 3-year program. So in the 3rd year, it's almost entirely, I think, in specialized, you just have to do 2 core and rest entirely, the entire electives is made of. The entire sort of curriculum is basically elective subjects. And what that means is that we allow you to take multiple electives, not only from business school, but you'll also take it to an extent from 10 other schools of JGU. And that gives you an unparalleled access to wisdom, knowledge from the other schools, including the law school, School of Arts and Architecture, School of International Affairs, School of Public Policy, and School of Liberal Arts. So all those free electives you can take as part of the UG curriculum. That's point number 2. Point number 3, the kind of faculty we have. Now, we have around 100 full-time faculty members, including new hires. And, so it's not about the number of faculty, it's also about the quality of faculty. In fact, I would invite you to come to our JGBS website and look at the faculty webpage. Now, look at the number and also look at the qualification of these faculty members. And wherever you're going, so, I would strongly urge you to sort of make a comparison as to which are the faculty members which are going to actually teach you inside the classroom. Because that's essential for delivering quality, cutting-edge management education inside the classrooms, right? Because at the end of the day, it's the faculty which delivers these management concepts to its students. Okay, so that is essential, and we take a lot of pride in hiring and sort of quality faculty members. And these faculty members again have qualifications from top institutions, not only from India but across the world. For example, I have a PhD, as Swanand was telling you. So I did my MS and my PhD from Technological University, Ireland. And many of our faculty members have from IIMs, top IIMs in India and top universities abroad also. And that is essential. So one is the numbers part and the qualification, and the other is the ratio, right? So the ratio, the faculty-student ratio at the university level, we try to maintain around 1:8 to 1:9, which is again, unparalleled in the Indian private university space. Okay, so one faculty member, one full-time faculty member for every 8 or 9 students. And that is something which we take a lot of pride in, because that ensures that our students get personalized access from faculty members regarding doubts, regarding so many other things. Okay, so that is essential for delivering quality education inside our classrooms. Finally, and we can revisit, I'm just sort of breezing through all these points here. The final point that I would like to say, that as a university setup, and our B school is ensconced within that university, and it's a global university, it's a global business school, right? So it's not only about our students getting access to these world-class universities abroad, for short and long-term opportunities. It's also about faculty members from different geographies from around the world being on campus. Many students from outside India come to the campus for short and long-term programs. And when you are inside the campus, hopefully this COVID situation improves and all of us sort of will be back to campus. Currently, we are working from home, as is the case with many other. But when you go back to campus, you'll see and meet and greet people from different nationalities. And what it does is it just absolutely gives you a different perspective of looking at the world by experiencing this different culture, different languages, talking to different kind of people. So that really broadens your outlook, broadens your horizons. This interdisciplinary setup sort of gives you multiple point of view at looking at a problem. And that is essential, right? So companies or organizations are looking for problem solvers, okay? You have 10 problems, I have 15 problems in my life, okay? Think about organizations which have so many people working for them, okay? They have 100 problems of their own, from morning to evening, okay? And they need people who can solve these problems, right? Essentially. So if you talk about management is trying to get a work done, trying to get a piece of work done by making sure that out of these 10 people who can do what. So you take a big problem, you divide it into, slice and dice it into smaller problems and assign it to people who can get the job done, right? And for that, you need to have a fresh perspective. You need to have an innovative mindset, okay? And what this interdisciplinary education does is that you're not thinking only in silos, okay? So just management education is great, it's absolutely wonderful. But then you need to have different perspectives to look at a situation from multiple points of view and try to see, boss, how do I solve this problem, okay? And companies love people and they're looking for people who are problem solvers. And that is something that, I think at JGU and JGBS, because of the fact that we are, a B school ensconced in a university delivering top edge, world-class management education, that is essential. So, so those are the 5 reasons, I think, or USPs, if you will, that makes Jindal Global Business School one of the top sort of destinations for undergrad education. I'm more than happy to take questions. I'll be now hand over to my colleague Vikram, who I would request maybe he can go over the eligibility criteria for this BB and IBM, and then take it forward from there. Vikram.
Thank you, Professor Mayank, and a very good evening to all the fellow students and their parents, if anybody has joined us. It is our great pleasure to talk to you and share our insights. So, students, or my dear friends, the only difference between you and us sitting over here on the other side is that somewhere or the other, both me and Professor Mayank were also at the same stage when we were also passing out class 12th and we were looking for options. Time was different, situations were different, and today also many things haven't changed. But yes, just to add what Professor Mayank mentioned about the different facets of the Jindal Global Business School, one thing I would like to surely tell all of you: we don't evaluate a student in our selection process on the basis of what marks you get in your 10th and 12th. Meaning thereby, of course, there is a selection process. Of course, there is an eligibility. But what we basically look into during the selection in your interview is who actually you are. There might be interviews where nobody would ever ask you any question pertaining to academics. They might not ask you anything related to accounts or economics. And that is what JGU all about. If you get a CGPA of 95 or 96% in 10th and 12th, that doesn't mean I have a sure shot admission in Jindal. Because we believe that every individual is different, coming up with a different set of unique qualities. And therefore, it is very important to learn from a diversified group. I, as a director of admissions at Jindal, would like to tell you 3 things. What Professor Mayank mentioned you about the peer learning. Jindal Business School was started in year 2010, and we launched the BBA honors program in 2016. The first batch of BBA honors started in year 2016, and this is the sixth batch what we would be now coming forward for. And you would be happy and equally surprised to know that the class of BBA or the integrated BBA MBA at Jindal University, it comes from 25 different states of the country. That is the diversity we talk about. The person who is sitting on your left will be from Gujarat, and the person who is sitting on your right will be from Andhra Pradesh or Bangalore. And you know that India changes after every 100 kilometers in terms of food, in terms of business, in terms of culture, and that is learning all about. And here comes the point what Professor Mayank mentioned, that you are not studying merely in a institution which is primarily a management driven college. You have law, you have journalism, you have liberal arts, you have banking and finance. And as a manager, when tomorrow you would finish your studies and you will go in your careers in job, you will be interacting with different sets of people who would bring their own level of expertise on their table. And as a manager, we have to take the entire group of people along with us. That is our responsibility. So the cross electives which we offer in the BBA honors specialization, they are very, very important, because you may be studying, let's say if somebody wants to make a career in the field of finance, you are studying a topic which is mergers and acquisition. It is a pure finance related topic. But if I offer you an elective of merger and acquisition law from Jindal Law School, it will definitely enhance your knowledge about the legal aspects of the financial dealings which happen through mergers and takeovers. And there, our students get an advantage. And that is why we call it as Jindal Global Business School. The word middle name global is very, very significant in terms of our curriculum and in terms of the opportunities which we aim to provide to our students in terms of study abroad. Many of you might be having dreams and aspirations that I should get an opportunity to be outside India and pursue my undergraduation from abroad. Let me tell you, and not because I am representing Jindal University, but as a career counselor who have been into this education for so long, don't think that if you have not gone abroad after 12th, you are losing something. It is not. Use that time to do your masters. And at Jindal Global Business School, at much, much less cost, we are giving an opportunity to our students to go for semester exchange, to go for summer schools, to go for immersion trips, and even MS dual degree options. You do or you don't do, that is secondary. But what Professor Mayank started his address was do research. Because today you are on that corner of the road that you have to take a decision. And whatever decision you are taking, it is directly affecting your life for the next 3 years of your graduation. And then if you come across this thing after 2 months or 3 months, somebody tells you, yeah, you should have thought of Jindal, and you say, oh my God, I wasn't aware of that thing. I heard it somewhere. Do your research, because opportunity will not strike again and again. And that's it from my side. We are here. Yes, Professor Mayank.
So thank you very much, Vikram. Excellent point there. And, I see a question there in the chat box that's related to what, one significant point that Vikram raised. and this is about the cost of doing that degree. Now, going to a foreign country, a good top-ranked university. Now, Jindal, of course, as I said, is India's #1 ranked private university by QS, second year in a row. This is the latest edition. You can go to the QS ranking website. So the world rankings done by, many people, many agencies, but primarily two are the important ones, or the more famous ones. One is the QS, and the other is Times Higher Education Rankings, right? So QS is, considered to be one of the gold standards for world university rankings, and basis that, Jindal is, India's #1 ranked private university, second year in a row. Now, you go abroad and you take it from a good place in North America, Australia, Europe, wherever, right? Now, that costs a lot of money. Okay, so you can go to any of the top universities, let's say in Canada or US, and you can check out how much it costs to do an undergrad degree. Normally, North America takes about 4 years, generally speaking. And let's say Australia, it's normally 3 years. But then, in terms of, you have to obviously sort of convert Australian or American dollars into India, and it comes to a bond, right? So it's very expensive. Good. So, no denying that fact, but expensive like anything, right? Now, what you do, and this is related to the question that is there on the chat box as to what are the benefits of a dual degree. Now, as I said, we have around 80 partnerships with world-class universities, including University of California, including Deakin University, including Macquarie University, University of Texas, across 5 continents. And you can see the complete list on the website. Is there. So it's not like something that we have hiding. It's there in the public domain because it's real. So it's all there on the JGPS website. Now, what happens is these are multiple types, and it really depends on the kind of program that you're doing. Okay, so let me put that disclaimer. But the important thing here is that if you're talking about these partnerships and you go for a dual degree, there is a dual degree, there is a semester exchange, there is a summer program, so different types, right? Now, if you're going for a dual degree, what that means is that we have tie-ups with certain B schools and universities. And if you take this dual degree option, wherein we have a partnership or such kind of partnership with our partner institution outside India, that entails you that after you do that program, you get 2 degrees. Okay, so that is the intent of your dual degree option, that you also get a Jindal degree, and you also get, say, a degree from, let's say, Canadian university, hypothetically speaking, right? So after you graduate, you get 2 degrees. Now, of course, you do it at a fraction of the cost. Otherwise, that you would have paid, let's say, going to Canada. Okay. So if you're here, let's say you're doing a 5-year integrated program, and you spend 4 years in Jindal, and you spend 1 year, let's say, in a Canadian university. So, for 4 years, you pay tuition fees here. Okay. So it's only 1 year where the travel costs are involved and boarding, lodging costs are involved. But ultimately, you're getting, a dual degree option. So depending on the kind of partnerships, okay, you get access to double degree at a fraction of the cost. So that is something which is very important. I think we position ourselves, and we take pride in positioning ourselves as a gateway to the world. So since global is in our name, and both at the university level and the B school level, we make it a point that we operationalize it in a way that makes things real. So it's not all out in the air; it's actually very real. Okay, so that is that. Any other questions? Okay, what are the benefits? So benefits, of course, you get a dual degree at a fraction of the cost. You get to experience foreign culture, so on and so forth. Okay. Coming down, what is the difference between BBA, BBA Honors? Vikram, you want to take that?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So the second question there, I think from Honey.
They are actually writing in the chat box also, and they are writing in the Q&A session also. So let me do one thing. It would be better if you take questions of, let's say, the chat box, and I would pay attention to the...
Can I request all the students or attendees to post your queries in Q&A only, because it will be easier for panelists to look at one place and answer. so that no important question is missed. So I would request everyone to post the questions in Q&A only and not in the chat box.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Sunil.
Okay, so let me take another question which is related to the dual degree, and then you can take it from the Q&A. And I think Vansh is asking that if I do a dual UG degree, would it help in getting better placement and a higher salary? So I mean, Vansh, it's really subjective. So it's not like a formula that you do certain thing and you get certain deliverables. So doing a dual degree certainly helps you in multiple ways, and I'll give you certain examples how it helps, right? But in every, and the reason why I'm saying is, does it in every case leads to a certain package? I mean, you can imagine that's impossible to answer. I think nobody can answer that because there are so many variables in that equation, right? But having said that, I'll tell you how it helps. Okay, now hypothetically speaking, let's say our student, and many of our students have actually gone abroad. Vikram can tell you certain examples. I know from my class students I've taught, they have actually migrated to Canada, to other places, to Singapore. They've got jobs there, job experience. In fact, on Saturday I'm talking to one of my students who was part of our 5-year integrated program, and he went to Canada as part of a dual degree, and he's now settled there. He's got a PR, so he's settled. That has also come in one of our, I think, YouTube at some point in time after we recorded and put it there. So I'm going to share, or this student's going to share his life experiences. But coming to how it helps. So let's say hypothetically you're a JIDL student, you go to Canada. Now, what is happening as a dual degree? Once you go to a different country, right? There are many things happening. A, you attend classes as part of another world-class university. Okay. And you see, how the pedagogy, the teaching culture, the classrooms, obviously it's a different country in a different continent. So all of that differs. So, that is point number one. Point number two is you experience different culture. Okay. I remember, sometime back, some other institution, I took my, MBA students to USA, right? And many of the students had not gone to USA. So, ekdam naya tha. I mean, for them, it was a very new experience. So we went via Europe. And so first of all, you understand the hub and spoke model. So the learning starts from there. It's a long journey. So obviously there is no direct flight, let's say from, Delhi to a particular city in USA, right? So New Jersey and Newark and, New York, and there might be. But for many other cities, there is a detour that you have to take either through Middle East or through Europe. So one, you directly learn about this business model that airlines follow for long-term routes. Okay, so learning starts from there. Secondly, there is a cultural shock, right? Now, we landed it in US, we freshened up. And then what happened is everybody was, actually a couple of them only had been to US. So many of them were new, right? So they said, okay, kahan jana hai, where do we go for eating? And we were passing through this market, a big complex. And US, everything is huge, right? I mean, their large and our large there is a huge difference. So their large Pepsi can and their large pizza is actually huge. It's not large, right? So we went to US, and these MBA kids, I mean, they're like, where do we eat? Khana kahan pe? So like, let's go to McDonald's, because many other brands were alien at that point in time. So McDonald's seemed like ghar jaisa, right? Although McDonald's is an American brand. But वो ऐसा लगा कि तो एकदम Indian, that's the impact of McDonald's, right? So we enter McDonald's, and the layout is similar, the seating arrangement, everything, kind of okay. So that's fine. So we go there, and then they look at the menu. Now in the menu, right, the menu looks very different. Similar sort of layout, look and feel, but extremely different. So first difference, there is no vegetarian menu. So this paneer tikka masala and aloo patty, that's all gone. Okay, nothing of that sort. No vegetarian at all. Okay, and even in, if you look at the non-vegetarian, it was primarily beef, which most of the Indians, not all obviously, they don't eat, or it's pork, right? And these kids were like, how can it be? Like, this is McDonald's, and McDonald's takes pride in its standardization across, right? So that's the second learning, that the world is not flat. Even for a brand like McDonald's, which takes pride in its USP, that it's standard, it's similar experience worldwide, it's actually very different. So that cultural shock makes you understand that companies have a model called global and local, right? So, what I'm saying is when you take these dual degree, these semester exchange options using JGU's network of partnerships, it makes you a different individual. It changes your outlook towards the world. And the learning is not only confined to the classroom, what you learn inside the classroom, it's actually way outside the classroom as well. Okay. So, dual UG degree enhances your personality, your outlook, you become a different person. Okay. You talk to different people. Somebody's from Middle East, somebody's from Africa, somebody's from Europe, somebody's from Australia. Okay. Different accents, different languages, different skin color, different food habits. It changes you in a positive way. Okay. So that's how, it's very, important. May I know about law aspirants? So I don't know what the intent of the question is. We have a, very renowned law school as part of the university. But, we are from Jindal Global Business School. So fortunately, unfortunately, we'll not be able to answer many queries there from the law school perspective. The only relevant part here is, as Vikram has mentioned before, is that you can take free electives from across the other 10 schools of JGU. And therefore, law school is obviously one of the prominent ones there. So that is something that you might want to consider. So Vikram already gave an example of a merger and acquisitions course.
And I'm sure, sir, Jindal Global Law School website is also pretty elaborate. So in case any students have any queries about that, most welcome to join the Jindal Global Law School website. And I'm sure they will get most of their queries answered.
I would just like to add one thing to them, if in case they want to know about law. The law admissions are done on the basis of the LSAT exam. We don't accept the CLAT exam scores, and this year the LSAT exam has already happened. We expect the result to be out in a day or two. So if in case you have appeared for the LSAT exam, the selection will be based on merit, and so is the criteria for all the other courses. Somebody asked about the eligibility in business school. So you need to be pass 12th this year, because earlier the eligibility was minimum 60% in class 12th. But looking at the latest announcements by the CBSE and ISC boards, when the exams are not happening, we have done this modification, and there is a change in the basic eligibility that students should secure a 12th passing certificate from their boards. That minimum eligibility of 60% has been waived off, but you need to appear for an online entrance test, which is JSAT, Jindal Scholastic Aptitude Test. It happens on daily basis. It is conducted by Pearson India, and within 24 hours, the result is out with us. Anybody who is securing more than 50% marks in JSAT, they are eligible for the interview round. And then on the overall academics, your entrance and your PI, the final decision is made. Over to you, Mayank.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vikram. I think, there are quite a few questions on Q&A chat box. And I think
Professor Mayank, if I may intervene, the most commonly asked queries that we have received on email also, in addition to what we can see on the Q&A box, one is career options after BBA. Quite a few people want to know about it, whether in India or abroad. That's one. Second is if there are any summer internships options. Of course, you elaborated a bit about it, but in case you want to share anything else, most welcome to do so. And any placements that Jindal offers for BBA graduates. Broadly, these three, all more or less questions are around these three. And of course, Mr. Vikram will share more details about the admission process or fees, etc. He spoke about the JSAT, but in case there are any fees and scholarships, that's another commonly asked query. Yeah.
Thank you very much there. Okay, so in terms of the internships, let me answer that first. So we, for BBA students, we offer two opportunities to do internships. So one is after the first year, that is the second semester, and the one is after the fourth semester, that is after the second year. So after the second semester, that is after the first year, you get to do a SME internship. So we try to place you in a SME, okay, small and medium term enterprise. And there, you learn about how SME functions, what are the functions or what are the issues that are specific to small to medium enterprises, and stuff like that, right? Because small companies obviously have different kind of issues compared to larger companies. Then after the second year, we again try to place you, in a proper, organization, which might be a fairly big organization. And so, you get to do 2 internships for the, IBM program. The number of internships obviously are more. Okay. So that's that. In terms of placements and internships, we have a dedicated, dedicated center, which is called OCS, Office of Career and Services Placement. And what the centers do is it has a dedicated staff, and they continuously look for internship and placement opportunities. They have great connect in the corporate world. Okay. And this center within the university, the main sort of responsibility area is to find quality internships and placement opportunities for our students. So that's what they do. We have almost close to 100% placement record. In fact, the last time in the very last iteration, I think we got, if I'm not wrong, around 96% internship summer placements. And the 4% primarily were the students who actually didn't want to do it now because of COVID related issues. So the 4% would be, we try to place them in winters when, the COVID situation might improve. So that's the level of sort of, industry connect. In terms of scholarship, maybe, I think there was a question on scholarship. So the data should be there on website. Vikram, would you like to say something on scholarships?
Yes. So in a brief, we offer scholarships on merit cum means basis. That is the university policy. And for merit, we take into consideration that anybody above 80% in class 12th is eligible to be sitting for the scholarship. Overall, there is no segregation between boards. Your overall class 12 should be above 80%. And we do look for your parents' ITR also. So for the last 2 years, the ITR is looked into, and the gross total income should be less than 30 lakhs per annum. So there is a slab system. The scholarship is minimum 10% and maximum is 25%. So 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, you have a slab structure. So 85 to 90, 95 and above. So that ways the scholarship is looked into, and it is for your first year, and for subsequent years, the scholarship will continue provided there is no F grade, there is no D bar, there is no problem as such in your behavior inside the campus or anything. If that is not the issue, your scholarships will continue for your second and third year also.
Okay, so Swanand, actually, I remember Swanand asked one more question as to, sort of the career opportunities and what are the possible sort of career pathways that students can do. So let me actually make a quick sort of differentiation between the 5-year integrated and 3-year BBA, and then I'll try to sort of sketch the differences between 3-year BBA. So at the undergraduate level, as I said, we offer a 3-year BBA program, and it has 3 other specializations, and we also offer a 5-year integrated program. Now, the advantages, and both of them have their own advantages. The 5-year program, students might want to do if they are looking to sort of, let's say, graduate with a master's level degree. So, many of you, after doing 3 years, sometimes, for a variety of reasons, there is a pause, after doing your 3 years. And then, again, you decide to do a sort of master's. And for that, again, you have to sit for an entrance exam, right? So that takes up time. A 5-year degree, make sure that you don't lose time during that sort of interval. So you go in with your, after, graduating from your 12th class, and you come out with a master's. So there is no pause after your 3 years. However, with a 3-year BBA, you get a choice. So after doing your 3-year BBA, you get a choice as to what you want to do, whether you want to do further studies, whether you want to work in the corporate for a while, so on and so forth. Now, in terms of the different BBAs, as I said, we offer 3 specialized BBAs. There is one is BBA Financial Markets, there is one BBA Family Business, and there is one BBA in Business Analytics, okay? And there is one BBA, General, right? So who wants to do a family business? So it's great for people, let's say, who come from families who run a business, okay? So in this course, the idea is that, we train you as to what are the sort of key issues that you want to, figure out if your family has a business. Okay. And it sort of trains you from the perspective of an entrepreneur. Okay. And that's the difference for a BBA family business. The courses that you go through, they train you from a perspective of an entrepreneur, from a perspective of a person who's actually running the company. Okay, so that's different than other BBAs. The one in business analytics is suitable for people who are good in crunching numbers. Now, data science analytics, as you might be aware, is a red hot area at the moment. Okay, there is a dearth of talent in the market. And what is important is that for people who can make sense of data, who can analyze patterns, make predictions based on that data. So what Google does, what Facebook, all of them do, like you search something and it automatically appears in your news feed on Facebook, on different sort of LinkedIn and other platforms. So there, data is being analyzed at a rapid pace, and then decisions are being made, right? I mean, that's exactly what's happening there. So business analytics is for those kind of people. Then you come to financial markets, so people who have a finance bent of mind, who are sort of want to understand the financial markets, banks, regulatory bodies, financial services, fintech is a great area. In fact, if you look at the top unicorns, including Paytm, they are basically fintech companies. Razorpay. So if you want to start a business, right, chances are that you will do the payment gateway through Razorpay because it's one of the finest players, the top place in that market. So that requires an understanding of the financial domain of the financial market, and BBA financial market trains you for those kind of jobs. Okay. Finally, of course, you can do a BBA general in which you have you can take electives from 3-4 different areas, including marketing, including entrepreneurship, including HR for people who would like to sort of join human resources. So that's very popular with some people, or people who are looking for sales or marketing jobs. They can take electives in marketing and sales areas. So for people who are not exactly sure what they want to do, but want to figure it out, let's say in their second year sometime, so then you might want to do a BBA general and be open for electives in a variety of different areas. Now, of course, all of these BBAs, you can take free electives, you can take electives outside the B school. Okay, so this BBA program is basically training you to do for a variety of roles in organizations, and in the case of family business, to run your own company. Okay, so that's the intent. If you have obviously I can elaborate more if you ask me anything else on these programs.
Yeah, I think Dr. Mayank, it was a wonderful explanation about various programs within BBA, because a lot of queries keep coming about why not generalization in BBA, why go for specialization. I think it was a great elaboration, and that should have given the students a lot of clarity.
Right. No, and it's important, right? So I can empathize with a lot of students here because you are in your 12th class. There is a lot of uncertainty in your mind, right, as to what you want to do. Nobody is clear. Now, if I put myself in your position and I think about those times, I had absolutely no clue what I wanted to do, to be very honest with you, right? So, that's the age where you're confused. And that's okay. Let me tell you that, right? So there is no shame in sort of accepting that I have absolutely no clue as to what you want to do. But I think what you need to do is one of the things that I talked to you earlier also, is to do your research. Okay, do a lot of research, primary research, that is research from your own hands. Okay, try to understand what you want to do in life, generally speaking. Okay, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years down the line, and basis that objective, you want to see that which is the institution which is best suited to take me there. Okay, now given the COVID times, otherwise I always sort of suggest and advise my students to go to the campus and look at the facilities firsthand, feel it. Okay, but in this COVID times, it's I would not advise you that, but you can certainly go to the websites and look at 3-4 important things. One, look at the faculty page. Look at who's the faculty, who's the full-time faculty, not the visiting faculty. Look at the full-time faculty members, because these are the people who are actually going to teach it. Look at their qualifications, look at their pedigree. Number 2, look at the international, opportunities that the institute offers. Because in a today, flat world where, you are enjoying brands from US, Europe, cashews from, America, and olive oil from Italy, and all the brands, which are popular worldwide are also available in India, right? From ASICS to Nike, to Bose speakers, to, you name it, right? Car companies, electronics. And, so what that tells you is that companies are looking for people who have a mindset, who understand how the world works. Okay. And the best way to experience that is actually go to a foreign country, and not as a tourist. Or वो photo खिंचा के कुछ नहीं होगा, right? So you go there for 5 days, come back. That doesn't help. That's great for tourism, but otherwise you've got to experience the culture, the lifestyle, what are the major industries, okay, what actually works, and that takes time. So our 6-month semester exchange or longer term dual degree options, which are generally 1 year, so that let you experience that, and that is when the change happens in your personality, in your outlook. Okay, so that's point number 2. Point number 3 is look at the number of faculty members. Look at the student faculty ratio. Okay, and because that ratio is important. Okay, and there is a reason why we maintain it at Jindal, is because we believe that our students need personalized attention. We have a mentorship program at Jindal University, Jindal Global Business School, where we assign these world-class faculty members and we assign mentees to them. So, outside the classroom, if you have any doubts, you want to ask something informally, you can go to your mentor and you can ask them. And, that is not possible if this ratio is not very good, right? Because, that's important for having a, healthy ratio. So these are some of the points that I would, request you to do and base your research on, okay? And then take your call. So, it's very important that, you do it yourself. Don't depend on sort of, other sort of people or other agencies to tell you what is right and not fair. Do your own research and then take your call.
Thanks so much, Dr. Mayank. I think we are coming to the fag end of our session. But just to sum up, what is that we discussed today? So you spoke very well about the multidisciplinary programs, and students can take electives from 10 schools at Jindal University, which is a large scope for them. You also spoke about the faculty expertise and the faculty-student ratio. I think that's an important parameter to ensure that personalized attention is given to students. From subjects as diverse as public policy, liberal arts, architecture. One is the electives and second is the faculty teaching those subjects. We come with knowledge base. Of course, you spoke about multicultural environment on campus because students come from different states of India and different countries, which is an exposure in itself. And you spoke about partnerships with global universities, which give a lot of global exposure to students, even for their internships, whether it is with SMEs or large organizations. Of course, you spoke about the integrated program, which is catching a lot of momentum among students. They are quite interested in 5-year integrated program, and a few questions also came about that. I'm sure if there are any more queries, students can write to the email address which Mr. Vikram has just shared, and most of their questions have been addressed today. There is a phone number also posted by Mr. Vikram in the chat box. So either you can reach him at the email address or on the phone number, and I'm sure all of your queries will be answered. Of course, before that, you can visit the website for any commonly asked question, which will be answered even without connecting with them. Possibly, that will be your one step closer to asking more specific queries in case you have. Unless there are any specific questions, I think we are done for the day. Thanks so much, Dr. Mayank and Mr. Vikram. It was a very insightful session.
Thank you, Swanand. Quickly, 2 things I would like to share with all the students who are at present listening to us. You must join the official Facebook page of Jindal Global Business School. All the questions which I have right now answered, where you spoke about knowing more about the internship, somebody asked about, sir, how's the campus life? JGB's Facebook page is very active, and I had shared the link of it over there, and it talks about everything. the hostel life, the sports life. You'd be surprised to know that there are 3 football fields in the Jindal University campus. 3 football fields. 60% area inside the campus is dedicated for students, which is without building. It's a dream place to be. And that is why I said, and what Professor Mayank said, do your research well. If you are sitting anywhere in India, you are not short of any information anywhere. If you join the official Facebook page, you will get to know who are the students who went abroad, and it's an open world. Speak to the students, try to make use of social media. We would be happy to connect you to our alumni, talk to them and understand what exactly was the benefit which derived out of this cross electives. We offer the option of foreign language. You can choose between Mandarin, French, Arabic, Spanish, and you'd be happy to know that the teachers who are teaching Mandarin is a faculty member from Vietnam. So it is not an Indian teacher who is teaching you Mandarin. So JG, and among the teachers, one important thing which is for all of you to know, that JGBS does not differentiate between a teacher who is teaching at undergraduate level and master's level. We have the same set of teacher. A professor who is teaching in MBA is also found to be teaching in a BBA course also. So you get to have the best of the faculty exposure even at your undergrad. And that is what JGBS is all about. So it's a 3-year course. Krish, you have asked. BBA dual degree. So don't get confused in India as of now. BBA program is for 3 years, but yes, we have certain specializations like the business analytics program, which we have recently launched this year. It has an option that you do 2 years of your study at Jindal. And if you are aspiring to go abroad, we have signed a collaboration with Deakin University, Australia, where you can go and do your 3rd and 4th year over there. So you would, and what there is an advantage. Why Australia? Because Australia mentions that there should be a 2 years of regular study in order to be eligible to apply for the green card. Many of the universities in US, they look for 16 years of education. So that is how we aim to give a very structured advantage through these international collaborations. It is not that I have to go to London or I am going to Canada, but what value addition you are going and at what cost. So if you are able to save money without doing any extra effort, you just have to be informative. You are not losing something being in India. In India, we have only one campus, and the campus is based out of Sonipat. So Sonipat is the last city on the Delhi-Haryana border. It is roughly 60 kilometers from Delhi airport. I think, Swanand, all the questions have been answered.
Yes, most of them are, and I believe some of them might be repetitive. And we have reached exactly 60 minutes from when we started. So thanks so much again, Dr. Mayank and Mr. Vikram. It was a wonderful session, and we'll keep talking to each other over a period of time. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, students. God bless you.